Hi, it's Jay from Iridescent Tarot back with some more sparkle for you. So today I wanted to do something that combined my love for the Yukika Tarot with this new book that I got, the Tarot Playbook. And this is 78 novel ways to connect with your cards, kind of inspired by watching Sybil's Lab of Cartomancy, where Danielle and Amelia talk a lot about having a sense of irreverent play with their tarot decks. And so I thought that this book was really cool for just working on that, being able to have fun connecting with my deck in a way that's less rote of reading, like reading after reading after reading, because I just love the Yukika Tarot so much that I want to handle it and play with it and do fun things with it. But like, I don't need to do 3 readings a day. Or nor do I want to all the time. I just want to find ways to enjoy the deck without readings being the only way to do that. So anyways, I was flipping through the book and I found this page, Common People, 5 of Cups. And so I'll read this to you as I sort through and pick out the court cards. This might be hard to do at the same time. One way to get to know your court card is to identify all the ways in which they're different. But of course, that would be too simple. If you really want to become enlightened and achieve the highest consciousness possible, you need to understand that deep down, court cards are all the same, just like humans and slugs. So step number 1 is to place your court cards face down on a flat surface and swirl them around with the palm of your hand. Notice how they already look near identical. If that makes sense, so, because it's going to be the backs of the cards. Step 2 is gather the cards and lay them face up in a 4x4 grid, which I zoomed out as much as possible in order to be able to record that, but I still don't think I'm going to be able to fit everything. So we'll just do a quick run through of the 4x4. And see how much we can fit in. Yeah, okay. Starting with the top row, you must find something that all the 4 courts have in common. Try to be mature about this. Saying they all have faces might be temporarily amusing, but you're only cheating yourself. Consider the whole card, including clothing, accessories, companions, and scenery. Try to be as specific as possible. You'll feel prouder to discover they all wear rings than if you settled on the fact that they all wear crowns. Step 4, when you found what the first 4 cards have in common, do the same for the 2nd row and the 3rd row and the 4th. Don't move on until you're satisfied you've come up with something really impressive for each of the foursomes. When you've finished all 4 rows, repeat the process for the columns left to right. After you've completed all 4 rows and all 4 columns, sort the cards back into their proper ranks of page, knight, queen, and king, which for this deck, it's actually page, knight, king, queen, just to show them they haven't all morphed into one single organism. All right, let's see how well I did talking and sorting my deck at the same time. 16, nice. Okay, cool. So, per the directions, we're just gonna do a nice wash, mix them all up. All right, that should be good. And we're gonna set them up 4x4. All right, that's as good as I can get it into the camera. So let's start with row number 1. What do they have in common? It's actually kind of fun not having the names visible, because I can tell just from these 2 that they're queens, because the queens in this deck really like blend with the with like whatever the element is. So this queen is kind of like one with the mushrooms, and this queen is like a one with the raven or crow. And yeah, so I know that those are queens. The thing that's standing out to me is the darkness. So we've got the dark background here, the dark half here, the dark part here, and the dark background here, but I don't think that's specific enough to satisfy the needs of what the guidebook, of what the prompt is. All right, this is kind of obscure, but one of the things I've noticed is that the hands are all in different places. So you've got a high and a low, a high and a low, a high and a low, and then this hand is a lot shorter than this one. This kind of branches down. So I think tentatively I'm going to go with the hands being different positions in this row. For row 2, like right off the bat, these 3 are pointing to the right, but this figure here is pointing straight, so we can't use that. These 2 have droplets. It's interesting, this like flower motif is what we see over here, but that doesn't help us. We've got the circle here going outward and the little circle down here, but no circles in the first or the last. They have the flowers in both of those. Over here we've got 2 halves to the side and 2 on the plants here, but that doesn't translate over here. Actually, now that I think about it, we have these flowers here and the flowers here, and we do have some plant, growth here, and then this little star flower looking thing there. Yeah, I think I might stick with the floral. 1, 2, 3, barely 4. This row seems to have the most masculine looking figures. We've got these 2 here that definitely look masculine. This one more likely than not. And then this one we can't really tell. So that's something I noticed right off the bat. They're all holding something, right? So this one is holding the sword, holding the cup, holding the book, holding the moon up. These 2 have water and flowers. The movement is also very active. Like they're holding the knife and cutting through. They're holding the pitcher that's presumably pouring into the cups. They're holding the book, which is like he's actively reading, and he's carrying the moon, actively walking uphill. So I think I'm gonna go with that as my through line for these 4. Down here, we've got a lot of like hand manifestation energy, right? We've got like this. So these ones, I can see the names. We've got the Knight of Wands, who just very much feels like this like explosive lava energy. The Queen of Cups, who's like actively handing water over. And then the King of Wands, who has a paintbrush in one hand, and it very much feels like he's like crafting his reality here. But then that leaves us with this Page of Swords that doesn't have the hands as the focus. Though they are... we can see that the hands are pointed forward in the direction that the paper airplane is headed. And even though that these are both wands, it almost feels like, there's a different elemental focus on each, right? So we've got the cups with the water here, the swords with the air. So she's handing you the water, she's flying through the air. He is creating energy, which is very fire based, and then this also has fire, right? We see lava right off of the bat, but lava is also an element of the earth, and so I almost feel like that could be earthy, but it's not. We do have like these little stars that are in the background up here, here, and stars kind of flying off this element, this focus here. So it might have to be the stars. Okay, so that's that row. Now let's do our columns. So coming down this side here, we have the figure facing forward for 3 out of the 4. This one's facing to the right. All right, hear me out. So we have something going on with like stringy things here, right? So the figure in the back, it's like tendons and very stringy things happening here. And then we have the strings tying up the flag here, and then the rope here is stringy, and then her sleeves are kind of like flowing in the air, kind of like strings. So we're going stringy on the first column. Okay, this one was easy to spot. We have an animal in each of the cards here. We have the black cat, it's some kind of shark. I forget what kind, but it's a shark, and then the little fish is here, and some kind of octopus creature here. So each person is accompanied by an animal in this row. Directionally in this column here, we have 3 that are looking away, and 1 that's looking not quite straightforward, but down at the thing that they are planting little seeds, so that doesn't quite help. We have 3 with plant motifs. This one doesn't. This one feels very elemental, right? We have the Page of Swords in the air, this Queen of Swords with the sword and the bird air, the cup water within water, and this feels very earthy, like we're planting the seed, but that doesn't, I feel like there's more. I might have to go with red for this one. So we've got this red cheek, red outline, the red seed, the red book, and then the red dragon here. But I feel like that's probably my laziest one, but I'm not really seeing anything else in this row, in this column. Here we have 3 that are looking straight at the reader, and then 1 that's looking away. These 2 are carrying or lifting something, but these 2 aren't. I feel like there's something to do with their head, right? So like this queen has the mushrooms growing out of her head. This court card has the sword that ends in the head. This one has the moon that's resting on his head. And this one has the pencil that's resting behind his ear and his head. So I think that these ones are all very heady, where the things that are involved in the cards are touching their heads. All right, so what I'm supposed to do now is organize them into their proper rank. So let's do that. Okay, they're all back in their order. We've got the pages, the knights, the kings, and the queens, which is the way that Stasia has set up the court cards in this deck. I just was curious if there were any like clear-cut similarities across or down now that we have them in order. And I think one of the things that I had said about the queens is that they're very much a part of and enveloped in their suit. I feel like the wand is the least, even though she still is, like, I feel like if she were more like the knight, like enveloped in fire, like if it was this image, but like also she was made of lava, that would be more consistent with the other queens. It's a little strange that this king is the only figure that doesn't appear like where is he? This Knight of Swords reminds me of the Two of Swords card. These feel like they're 1 and 2. Very similar coloration in the Page of Swords and Cups. And King of Swords. Like these 3 feel like they're all a part of a series. This king definitely feels related to this knight in some way. Like they're part of the same family. I really like how blended they all are. Like there isn't a very clear delineation between suits or rank. Like I'm not seeing anything that's like a straight up color scheme across the board for any of these. It makes the deck when mixed in with the rest. It makes the courts when mixed in with the rest of the deck. They blend in. This deck is just very cohesive in that way. Interesting. Okay, well, I hope that you enjoyed that fun little exercise. I just wanted to play with this deck a little bit because I can't tell you how much I've been loving it. I use it every day, and it's already starting to get some serious wear on it. If you take a look at the edges here, it's definitely showing some signs that it's been used, which I'm fine with, but I did reach out to the creator and give my 2 cents about how great this would be in a rose petal finish. I've been like practicing, I've been shuffling it constantly, and it's still very, very firm. So I feel like a thinner cardstock and rose petal finish would really just do this deck wonders. But even with the cardstock the way that it is, I just love it so much and have been getting a lot of helpful readings from it. So I'm glad that she created it. All right, if you liked this video and want to see more just like playing with cards, things like this, it would be helpful to know, just because I thought this would be fun, but I don't know if it's gonna interest anybody else. So if you liked it, please like, comment, subscribe, all the things, and I will talk to you later. Signing out.